definitely. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get started. So first of all, I'm gonna introduce myself for those who don't know me. My name is Narek. I'm from the onboarding department here at Buildern. So the purpose of today's call is to go through how to track your purchase orders and how to track them in your budget tab and the importance of the purchase order. So what we have kind of found out is that purchase orders are bringing a lot of questions as far as it goes for our users. Why should we use purchase order? Is it like a requirement to use purchase orders? And like all those kind of questions. Ultimately, the answer is going to be purchase orders are going to be a very, very good thing for you to help you to structure your business and keep everything streamlined. So, the agenda for today's session is going to be the following. So, first of all, we're going to discuss why you should utilize purchase orders. The next thing is going to be how Buildern can help you utilizing purchase orders. And then we're going to leave time for some Q&A session, questions and answers. So, we're going to start off with why you should utilize purchase orders. So, in your day-to-day business, purchase orders are going to help you with a couple of things. First of all, they're going to help you define a clear expectation as far as it goes for material quantity, pricing, cost, etc., etc. Um, Purchase orders are going to help you in a sense where if you're coming from pen and paper, or for example, you're doing purchases on the phone, talking with your vendor, talking with your subcontractor, it is very easy to make mistakes and to forget about things. Purchase orders help you keep everything in one place and very streamlined. You have all the items that you need with all the quantities. You know exactly the cost that is going to set you, and you know exactly how much you are forecasting to spend. So this is a very, very important thing, especially for, you guys running a business, doing construction, et cetera, et cetera, because purchase order are also tied to the materials, and we all know that our jobs as constructors depend on those things. So those are super crucial and important things. Another thing that the purchase order are going to help you with is going to be improve your cost control and track your budget. This is going to give you like a clear visibility on how much your purchase order is going to be, when is it going to arrive? Because with the purchase order, the good thing is that you have deadlines with your vendors that you're agreeing. You have an approval deadline, and most importantly, you have a delivery deadline with a purchase order. The delivery deadline is going to give you the option to know exactly when is it that my items are going to come, so then you can start preparing the schedule for your project without having any delays, without having any issues. I mean, things can happen, but usually the purchase order are going to help you with all of that, making sure that no mistakes are made with the timelines, the schedules, et cetera, et cetera. And another good thing is that this is going to increase your accountability. The purchase order is a legal agreed document that you have with your vendors, with your subcontractors. This is preventing unauthorized purchases, duplicate orders, or inflated invoices or bills that you are going to receive from your vendors. You have a purchase order, it's an agreed and set document, a legal document that you have. Nothing outside of the purchase order is going to be legal. So, with all of those things, if we kind of go back to the top, making sure that you're not making any mistakes. You have everything in one place, exactly what you need. Making sure that you have clear visibility on how much it's going to cost and how much your items are going to, uh, when are your items going to come essentially, and no unauthorized purchases and no unauthorized invoices. So these are going to be like the fundamental things, and this is why we're suggesting and always recommending you utilizing the purchase orders. Now, the next step here is going to be, well, how does Buildern help you with creating the purchase order? Because one thing that is very important for all of us is time, right? Especially for you guys, time is everything. You don't have, you don't need and you don't have time to spend, on creating purchase orders that are going to take minutes to do. So Buildern is going to help you with that. So let me go into my Buildern account and I'm going to show you exactly how Buildern is going to help you do that. So I'm going to share my screen. And if you guys can tell me if you're able to see my screen, yes, no, thumbs up, something in the chat. Awesome. Beautiful. So as far as it goes for creating purchase orders, in Buildern, there are a couple of ways that we can go about. So one of the ways will be to manually create the purchase order. So manual creating a purchase order is going to be this way. You go into the project that you are going to create the PO for, purchase order a subcontractor, and then you can click the create button. Now you have two options. You have either a purchase order or a subcontractor. Ultimately, these are pretty much the same thing. A differentiating factor that I can give you is going to be the fact that purchase order are more going to lay toward material, items, things like that, equipment. Subcontractor is more going to be for your labor. I mean, there is absolutely nothing stopping you adding your labors within your purchase order. Nothing wrong there. This is like really if you want to keep those things separate from each other. But you're going to click the create button and start creating the purchase order manually. So first things first is going to be entering the name of the purchase order. Our recommendation is name it with what exactly it is that you're ordering. For example, let's say that I'm going to do a bathroom remodeling, right? And I need tiles for that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to name the purchase order tiles. The ID is automatically being generated by Buildern for you. I mean, this is something that you can edit and you can change to your liking, but if not, just know that Buildern is also taking care of that for you. The next thing that you're going to do is selecting a vendor or a subcontractor. You can choose from the list that you already have in your Buildern account, or you could go by creating a new subcontractor or vendor by just clicking on this add new button. Choose them and then start setting the important details, the approval deadline and the delivery deadline. So I'm gonna say that I'm a bit in a hurry, so I need this purchase order to be approved at most December 5th, 2025. And on top of that, I'm gonna give an additional week. So I'm gonna say December 12th is the absolute maximum before I need to get those items sent to me. Once I have the major information filled out, then I can go ahead and start filling out the additional information. I could have a description for my vendors or my subcontractors, or I can leave it blank if you don't want it to, and start building your items. Now, we're going to go ahead to this section and I'm going to start creating the items. So I said that I need tiles, right? I could add a specific description for the tiles, maybe a specific color that I need, a specific shape on the tile that I need, etc., etc. The next thing is going to be assigning a cost code to those items. So cost codes are really important because this is how you're going to track your budget on the budget tab, how much you're going to spend against each line item. So make sure to definitely add the cost code. Then you're going to set your quantity. Now, the quantity and the unit. The unit you can choose from all the options listed down here, or if there isn't a specific one that is really working for you, you could go ahead and you could add a new one right there on the fly. So I'm going to say that I'm going to need, let's say, I don't know, 12. It could be square meters or square feet. So I'm going to say, there we go. Let's go with square meter, for example. And I'm going to add a unit cost. Now, I want to take a moment to talk about the unit cost because what we saw is that there is sometimes confusion between cost and price. So to keep it simple, view it this way. Cost is always going to be for you. Price is always going to be for your client, right? The cost of the item is how much you're going to pay your vendors or your subcontractors. So I'm going to say that my cost is going to be, I don't know, let's say $200 per square meter. If you have your GST taxes set up, the system is automatically applying them directly to those items. And there we go. This is the amount excluding tax that is going to cost me, and this is the amount including the tax. So I can go on and on, adding as many items as I need to here. I can click on the add new line and start filling in the item, or I can go ahead and I can choose to bring items from a group, a cost catalog, or an estimate. I have the summary detailed, everything about the purchase order that I'm creating, and I can have some additional information if I need to, internal notes, attachments, terms and conditions, etc., etc. Once I am ready to send this to the vendor, I can either click the send button, or one thing that we are always recommending you before sending anything out is always have a preview of what this is going to be looking like on the vendor side. So you know exactly what they're going to see. And also the good thing about Buildern is that it gives you the option to customize your purchase order the way you want it. So just make sure to check it, make sure that it's to your liking. Once it's done, you're going to click the send button. The information that you're going to see here is going to be the email address of the vendor that we have selected. You have your email subject and your email body. One thing that I do want to mention is that if you have a specific email template, guys, that you're going off of, you're saying, anytime that I'm going to email a vendor or subcontractor, this is what I need the email subject to be. This is what I need the email body to be. What you can do is that you can click on this section that says for purchase orders, click this add new button and start creating that template. It's a one-time thing. You name the template, enter the email subject and the email body, you click save, and you'll be able to use it not only for this purchase order, but for all the other ones that you are going to create. This is a one-time setup. So you can attach your purchase order PDF file, send yourself a copy, and then just go ahead and click save, and there we go. Purchase order created. So this is one of the ways that you can go about creating purchase orders. This takes, maybe a couple more clicks, but there are actually other ways that you can go about creating a PO in Buildern. One of them is going to be going directly to create a PO from the items that we have in our estimate. So let's say this is the estimate that I have created, and I'm going to say that those items right here are what I'm going to create a purchase order for. After selecting it, all I need to do is hover over the plus icon in a circle and say that I want to create a purchase order. And boom. See, all the items are being filled out automatically with all the details that I had in the estimate. The name is being filled out, the ID is being filled out. As far as it goes from here, all I need to do is just add my sub vendor or my subcontractor, set up my approval deadline, set up my delivery deadline, enter a description if I need to, decide whether or not I want to add more line items to it. Same thing, internal notes, attachment, terms and condition, click the send button, and I'm good to go. So see, what did it take me to create this purchase order? 10 seconds, 15 seconds, right? Super easy, super quick, avoiding all the mistakes possible. The third way that you can create a purchase order is going to be creating it from a bid request. Now, we had the webinar for the bid request that Vahan conducted. So if you haven't seen it, we'll make sure to also provide a recording of that. But just taking a moment, bid requests are going to be a really good way for you to get the best prices. Once you have the price that you have selected, all you need to do is go into the bid request section. Now, we're not creating the PO from the request itself, but from the bid that we have selected. So go into the bid request, click view offers, and let's say this is the bid that I'm going to work off. Clicking three-dot menu, saying create purchase order, boom, there we go. Same thing. All the items are being filled out right here. So here, not only we have the name, the purchase order ID, the items. I also already have the vendor because I'm creating the purchase order off of the bid request that I had with the vendor. All I need to do is add my delivery deadline, my approval deadline, all the details. Once again, I'm going to click send. And there we go. Purchase order created. So again, what did it take me? Like 10 seconds, 50 seconds at most to create it. So it saves me a lot of time. It saves me a lot of trouble and a lot of headache to deal with after. So these are going to be the ways that you are going to create purchase order. And again, this is going to be so important. And once you start doing it, if you're not doing it already, you're going to see the benefit of it directly on your business. Cutting up time, effort, etc., etc. Now, once we have those purchase orders created, now what I want to show you is how to track those expenses that you have created. So a purchase order on itself, it's an expense that you're going to track on the budget tab. So once I go in the budget, I'm going to see all those lines, those cost codes. And this is why I said that it is so important to use cost codes because this is how your budget tab is going to be looking like. So what you will do is that checking on the purchase order, let's say we're going off of those items right here. So I'm going to take this line item, for example, let's say compressed fiber or fencing. Going to the budget, we're going to go ahead and we're going to find that cost code. So there we go. Compressed fiber, easy, directly found it. Now, this is how much I have projected to spend in my purchase order, right? So there are three columns here in the budget tab that are super important to know. It's going to be your actual, your projected cost, and then your cost to complete. As far as it goes for the projected cost, this is where you're going to see every single expense that you have created. Now, this means that this is going to be all the purchase orders that you have created or the subcontractors you have created, the bills, and also your timesheets. Every single expense that you are projecting to do. Your actual is going to be how much you have already paid. And depending on the accounting method that you have configured your Buildern account to be, accrual accounting versus cash flow accounting, it can show one of two things. If you're going with cash flow accounting, basically the system works the following way. Your actual will show you every single bill that is marked as paid. If you go with accrual accounting, the system is saying, I don't really care where you're going to pay it or where you're going to mark it as paid. As long as it's marked as approved, your actual will show you that bill. Now, this is preferences depending on how you want to keep track of it. And lastly, cost to complete is going to be how much do I need to spend for everything to be completed, right? So here for this item, I have projected $101.20. I still need to pay that for your cost to complete to go down to zero and for your actual to show that. Um, so this is how you're going to keep track of every single one of your expenses. Now, another two columns that are super important is going in the budget tab is going to be the release purchase order column versus the pending purchase order column. Now, that's not going to be into this view of the budget tab, which is the group by line. You'll need to click on the drop down and go to cost code. And then on this section, just scrolling to the right, you're going to see those sections. Release purchase order versus pending purchase order. To give you an understanding, everything that is in pending means that that's a purchase order that you have created, but not yet sent to your vendor or your subcontractor. It's on a draft status. Everything that is sent and approved is going to be under your release purchase order. So this is also another really good way for you to keep track of your expenses, how much is been sent out, because let's say you have a purchase order that you're saying, hey, I haven't heard back regarding this. Well, you can go into the budget tab and keep track of if it was actually sent out or not. Um, so there is another way to create a purchase order, a fourth way, and that's going to be creating the purchase order from a change order. Now, fortunately or unfortunately, pretty much whenever we're doing a project, there are going to be change orders involved. So the thing is that you'll create the change order first. So let's go ahead and say we're creating a change order. We'll make sure to dedicate a specific session for the change order, but this is just for me to be able to show you on how things are done. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to really quickly create the change order and let's say I'm creating tiles again, adding my cost code, my quantity, let's say 12 square meter. Again, 250 with a 30% markup. I'm gonna do add. There we go. So once this is done, I'm gonna save it. So creating a purchase order from a change order, same thing, very easy. It takes you a couple of clicks. Clicking on the three dot menu, going to the create section, purchase order, and there we go. Everything is already being filled out. All I need to do is again, mark my sub vendor or my subcontractor, adding my details here, and I'm good to go. Again, clicking send. Now, one thing that you could also do if you are creating the purchase order directly from the bidder request is instead of sending it back to your vendor for them to approve, because they already have the bid request signed, you could go ahead and you could manually approve it on your end from the office if it's agreed and you know that the vendor is going to proceed. All you need to do is click on the three dot and just say approve or reject, depending on what is it exactly that you want to do. So clicking approve, there we go. It changed the statuses. So again, four main ways that I'm going to create a purchase order that are going to save me a ton of time. One of them is manually. One of them is from the items of the estimate. Another one is going to be from the bid request itself, and another one from the change order. So one thing that I want to ask now is if we have any questions regarding, the budget tab section on how to keep track of our costs, etc., what the actual is, the projected cost, the cost to complete. Any questions, or are we good? You can feel free to come off mute.
I'm good.
Okay.
Hang on.
All right.
Okay, I will ask in that
Yeah.
case. So when you're showing the actual costs, all are here at zero at the moment on the screen.
Yes.
Right. So that means that your projected cost is equal to your original cost, right?
So
Complete.
really good question. So what you're talking about, the original and the projected cost being the same, is the following. The original is showing you the cost of the estimate, your cost for the estimate.
Yeah, okay.
Your projected cost will show you the expenses that you have created. The estimate itself is not yet an expense that you have created. A purchase order is, a bill is, or a subcontractor or a timesheet is. As long as there isn't one of those four created, your projected cost is equal to your original. As soon as you create one of those, your projected cost turns into the cost of the specific thing that you have created, either PO, bill, timesheet, or the sub vendor.
Okay. How does it affect the actual?
Really good question. The actual will be impacted not by the purchase order, but by bills. So it works again one of two ways. The actual will go up once you have a bill that is either on a paid status or an approved status. Again, depending on the accounting method that you're using. But the actual is related to the bills, and it's also related to timesheets that you have approved, but not to the purchase order itself. Like directly not to the purchase order itself. The bill is connected to the PO and the actual is connected to the bid, to the bill.
Okay.
Does it make sense?
Okay. So it's connected to the invoice, basically, yeah.
Yeah, the vendor invoice, the bill.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Thank you.
All right, so I want to give the platform to you guys, starting a Q&A session. If any of you have any question, I'm more than happy to answer.
Okay, I've got several.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So GST in your country, it stands for, is it VAT in our country?
So GST in my country, you mean?
Yeah, whatever. You're using dollars.
Yeah, it is.
We are in UK, so we're using pounds.
Yeah,
We don't have
it is.
GST. What is GST?
Yeah, it is your VAT. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Could that be changed?
To kind of jump into that, the GST is the goods sold tax, meaning whenever you're procuring an item, you're paying the tax for the procurement, the purchase tax.
Yeah.
And then there's the VAT, which is the value added tax. Essentially, if you're selling it higher than you procured it for, the specific percent of the added value tax. Now, that can be turned on or turned off. It could be customized in the taxes settings. So for the main base of our companies, they would use the goods sold tax and the value added tax, but again, could be turned on and turned off, customized to fit the UK needs as well. I know the UK has a different percentages.
We don't have GST.
Okay, so just value added tax.
And that's at 20%.
Could be set up, changed up again, like a
Correct.
purchase order.
Some
Everything is
projects
editable.
so it depends on the project, yes, but in general, 20%, that's what's applied to majority of the project, and GST doesn't exist. So that could be switched off, right? I can see the thought here.
Yeah.
Taken out
Could,
completely.
yeah. Could be switched off, switched on, edited. The price, the number could be changed. You can apply it to purchase or sales or vice versa.
Thank
Fully
you.
customizable.
Cool.
Can you also change dollars into pounds?
Yeah, I've changed
Yes.
that
Yeah.
already, Pablo. Yes,
Yes.
I've changed that already on our system.
Oh, thank you.
My next question, guys, is regarding purchase orders. I see you giving it ID number, right? Each purchase order has got ID
Yeah.
number. And how is that generated? Does that contain your project number, which is PR? Is that
Yes,
how
exactly.
I'm
So
just
it
trying to
takes
understand.
exactly. It takes the project number and then it adds the purchase order number. So this one is going to be project 100012 Well, this is a
120,
long
yeah.
number. Yeah, this is a long number. And the purchase order is 007. If I leave it untouched and I don't change it, the next one will be the same project number, 008, and then 009, etc., etc.
Okay.
Keep
Okay. So
keep in mind that this is test data, and you can change the suffix or the prefix as well.
yeah.
So go to settings and then system configurations. Here you can change how it starts, how it ends, what's the seat number, where to begin, and whatnot. Now, these numbers, if you choose to, can be reflected in your accounting software, and
Yep.
it's an identifier to understand if this is the same purchase order that it's related to. Because for some companies, they would acquire cement on, for example, cement on multiple occasions. And it's the date that is different, and more specifically, it's the ID that is different, like differentiators. For a lot of procurement companies, this comes in handy.
I agree, and I like the self-generation of the numbers as well, so they don't get messed up. So each time you create a new number is generated. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Understood that as well. So thank you. Yeah,
Yep.
that's clear. Okay. For me, should I continue because no one else asked the question, so I will just continue.
Let's see. Let's see. Does anyone else have question? Rachel, Willie, Jason, any questions you would want to ask?
I do not.
Okay. All right. Willie,
I've got more.
Jason, all good?
No.
I guess so. Well, let's see what we have something in the chat. Jason is all good.
So I've got more questions, Narek.
Yep.
Yeah. Should I
Yeah.
continue? Okay, in that case. So for me, in terms of when you create your purchase order, I think for me it's very much related to your estimate. So the more elaborate, is that the right word? Your estimate is,
Yeah.
the better the purchase order.
Oh, definitely,
right?
definitely. 100%, 100%. View it this way. Um, the purchase order, if you decide to create it from the estimate, 100%, it's better to give as many details as we want to our vendors and our subcontractors rather than, giving like a vague explanation. And also, because we're creating it from the estimate, I think for your clients as well and for your customers as well. If the estimate is detailed, they're gonna know exactly what they're stepping into, and then you can take that chain into the purchase order and then follow up with the bills, etc., etc.
Okay, so my question comes from, imagine you're building a stud wall, which we're calling a partition wall,
Yep.
right? And it costs, say in dollars, it's 40 pounds per meter
Yeah.
square, right?
Yeah.
There are at least 5 or 6 components to it, right?
Yep.
So you're creating that wall with, say, a stud itself, could be metal, timber, whatever, screws. You need some
Right.
insulation,
Right.
plasterboards, maybe skimming, or whatever you do with it, right? So there's a per square meter price in your estimate
Yeah.
that you perhaps just put in because you know it's 40 pounds per square meter. You put 40 pounds, right? But if you don't put all the materials in the actual estimate, you cannot generate the purchase order because the purchase order doesn't know what's included in
I mean,
it.
you'll generate it, but with just that one line that says
But your supplier
wall,
will know what
but
is.
it's not. But it's not. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not
you cannot
recommended.
order from that.
So
That's
what you
what I'm
could
trying to say.
do. So what you could do in that situation, Peter, is going to be we have what we call assemblies,
Yes.
essentially. You could use the assembly when you're creating your estimate, right? Name the assembly like the name of the wall, and then under that, create the materials that you need and their quantities. And when you create a purchase order, instead of checking the items, just check the entire assembly and then bring that over to the purchase order. Then in that situation, you will have not only you, but also your vendor will have like exactly all the details regarding what is it exactly that we need and how much do we need for the wall.
Yeah. Thank you, because that's important. We will use that for beads because we will go to 3 or 4
Yeah.
companies
Yeah.
to especially with bigger orders, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, that's important for us. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah,
So one
absolutely.
to add up to it, if you have even one estimate that is like very detailed, you can add those estimate items into your cost catalog, which is like the menu of all the materials that you procure and use. So a purchase order can be generated from the cost catalogs as well. It's just a matter of putting that information somewhere inside Buildern. There are many, many different ways on how you can summon that information. As long as it's somewhere there, you would be able to go through the buttons and find that piece of information. Now, there is a way to keep it very clean, and there is a way to keep it not very clean. If you are continuously creating custom line items, they are not going to be safe. This is one time item you've created and it got lost in the weeds, so to say. But if you can save it in an estimate, or if you can save it in a cost catalog, you can later on resummon the same items and use them for the next projects, that's next POs, next bills, whatever it is. It's the same material that is going through the life cycle of a project.
Yes, I understand that. Yes,
Yep.
thank you. Thank you. I'm just
Oh,
trying to see whether there is other way of doing it, but
yeah, and
you have to put data in order to extract the data later. That's all.
yeah, and also one thing that this phrase is not from me, it's from Vahan, and I absolutely love it, is Buildern is not a one fit for all. There are so many ways that you can configure the account so it fits your business needs. So there are so many different things that we can do, and we here at Buildern are ready to help you. We just need to like know what is it that you're trying to accomplish, and then we got your back from there. But yeah, what Vahan was saying, you can create an estimate that is pretty much like the perfect estimate for you, and then turn it into a cost catalog slash price book kind of thing, let's say, and then utilize it for the future.
Okay.
Yeah,
I've got one more question. Oh, two more
sure.
questions. Yeah, sorry guys. I just made the list as we went
It's all
along.
good.
For me, it's like when you showed an email version of the PO,
Yes.
there was a subject. In that subject was your PO number, right?
Mm-hmm. Right here, purchase order ID.
Would that ID be added automatically in subject?
Yes, yes.
Because if you try to search those, in your email, say inbox, you're not necessarily trying to find it
Oh
on
yeah, and it's going with the email. Yes.
Okay, automatically. Yes,
Yep.
you
Yep.
don't need. Okay, that's
Yep.
fine. Thank you.
Yep.
And I can see you can attach drawings and attach anything to your beats, and
Oh yeah. Oh
because,
yeah.
some
Attachment
of the beats are
files.
complex. That you will send price for various things to
Yep.
subcontractors, especially, right? And
Yep.
it needs a lot of attachments. So I
Hmm.
just make sure that those things can be added. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Can you so okay, and so you mentioned something about when you're reviewing your budget, and you went into the group by line, and then
Yes.
yes, and you scroll down to cost code. Can
Yep.
you see all outstanding, or the one that you have to review POs on your dashboard? Can you configure that? So when, say, our bookkeeper or our office admin, goes into her dashboard or his dashboard, they can view, okay, this is the POs I need to review. Is that possible?
When you say the POs that we need to review.
I mean, you've got here when you go. So for them, like when I say review, it's perhaps the one that you've created, but they are
Hmm.
not approved, right? Maybe for the.
Oh, the
Correct.
ones that they haven't been approved.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So here, see, release purchase order and then pending purchase order. I mean, you here it's like if you send it or you haven't sent it, but as far as it goes for the status, whether
Mhm.
it has been approved or not, you can keep track of it easily under the purchase order section right here. The ones that says
Okay.
approved, you'll be able to see here. And for all the ones that are not approved, pending, etc., you have the status drop down that you can go ahead and you can check
I'm
to
with you.
see
Okay.
how many, let's say I'm going to say I have 4 purchase order. How many are pending? 3 of them are pending. How many are draft? None of them are draft. So this is a
Okay.
really good way to keep track of all of it.
So you have to do it individually in the project, going to PO.
Ultimately, you can go into all items
All
and
items
see
and then
for
purchase
all.
orders. Yeah.
Okay, and you can see for all projects.
Yeah.
Yes. This is
That's
every
important for me. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was after. Okay,
yeah,
thank you. Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you. And do I have one more?
Yeah.
So yes, I've got about one more question. That's the last one, I promise.
Yeah.
So when you approve the purchase order, right?
hmm
What happens with it? It goes into the approved section, right? We know that. And in terms of a payment, does that link with your zero in, and I assume it does, and how?
Oh, you do have the option to send a purchase order to zero. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I think your question is more leaning toward the invoice of the purchase order, like the bill of the purchase order. Am I correct?
Yes, because if I approve it, say, okay,
Yes.
I would like to purchase the stuff
Yes.
from Five Star Concrete
Sure.
or whatever they called
Hmm.
for three and a half grand,
Yeah.
and that's approved,
Yes.
right? Say by a finance director or whoever looks after the
Hmm.
project.
Yep.
And then on the other end, where does it land? Or where do I look actually to make that payment? Do I have to then
Good question.
physically myself go, like if I'm the finance director, I will go the
Yeah.
same system as my say manager or whoever works in the office goes
Good
through?
question. So, the next step logical of the purchase order is going to be the invoice or the bill of the purchase order.
Mhm.
Now, with the bill, there are a couple of routes that can be taken. One of them will be if the vendor or the subcontractor emails you the bill, you can then go ahead and have it directly under the project or again under the all items section. And from there, uh, paying out the bill directly from Buildern. We're working on something like that. I don't have any specific ETA, so paying it out will, I guess, be the way that you're doing it now. Might be from zero, might be from a third party that you're using. Ultimately, you will just mark the bill as paid in Builder and manually. Or another thing that you can do is if you paid out of zero and then the
Mhm.
status changes in zero from, I don't know, pending to paid, that status can be transferred over directly to Builder without you having to do anything. Like it's an automatic status
I see you.
update
Yeah.
from zero to Builder. So really, the only thing you would need to do in this scenario is just pay off the bill because the bill is coming from via email from your vendor, and then you're just paying it up. The status is automatically changed for you.
Understood.
There
And
are other things.
ultimately,
Yep.
you can ultimately create a bill from this page on as well. So like
Yes.
on this very same page, you click the triple dots and you create the bill because that would be the next logical
Step.
step. And then you would take care of the bill. Again, if the bill is paid in like QuickBooks or Zero, the status is mimicked. And then that would be the end of the life cycle of the procurement. Like paying the bill is the very end. If the next step is invoicing the client to ask for the reimbursement, so to say, and for the margins and for the markups of your work. So that's why it's like logically separated out. If you look at the left bar menu, it's the estimated proposal, then you create a bid, then a PO, then a bill. It's in a logical order. So
Yeah.
So just to ask, because this is all new to us, we run things slightly different. So because purchase orders, I'm going to my subcontractor, I say,
Uh-huh.
I want this aluminium cladding to my roof, say,
mhm.
and he says, okay, this is it. It costs you 10 grand. So from that 10 grand, because he's going to invoice us, right, for 10 grand, say we're charging client 12,000 for it. So
Yeah.
from we create a bill internally, right?
Okay.
Is that what you're saying? From this purchase order?
So again, you can either create it internally, like manually create the bill,
Mhm.
or you can have the vendor send you the bill
That
for the purchase order
that's
via
more
email.
likely, yes.
Okay, so in
Like an
that case,
attachment. Buildern can read it out through the email bill section. It can
Mhm.
read out a physical bill,
Mhm.
a piece of paper, and break it down, create a digital one. So essentially, it's the same process with the PO and with the bill. As long as it's created, you then take care of it. You pay it. You can partially pay it. You can fully pay it. There's a whole level of statuses in there as well. But yeah, either it's sent to you or you create it manually. We support both ways.
I understand. So I think the way forward for us will be in that instance that we create a purchase order.
yep,
So that goes as a bid to 4 companies. We
right,
approve one. Then
yeah,
we say, okay, we'd like to go ahead. This is the criteria that
mm-hmm,
they say they're going to
mm-hmm,
meet. They send us the bill, which is their invoice. Okay,
yep,
we need 50% deposit, say for that matter, right?
right,
Because we need to buy
right,
materials, delivery is in 8 weeks or whatever.
mm-hmm,
And so in that case, they send us the bill, which is a deposit or whatever you call it.
yep,
We that they will need to send this to this email address if we
right,
give them that, right? Or
right.
they can email to our email address and then we can email to this address, right?
You could,
Or there will be automatic. We can set up a rule that
you
goes
you
basically.
could. Personally, I think that would be manual work for you. Like if they're already emailing it to your email address, all you need to do is just copy the first or third email address. Let me tell you exactly what those two are doing.
Hmm.
If you let's say I'm the vendor, you have copied this email address and you have sent it to me via email and said, hey, whenever you email the bill to my personal email address, make sure to also include this address. What will
That
happen?
would be very hard. I can tell you that much.
Um, j- I think it could work really because what it does is that the bill, if it's sent to this email, it's automatically being created under the respected project. You don't need to do anything.
You can
Yeah, I
create
think the
a
easier will be to
autom.
set up a rule where on your so we've got email which is accounts, say for that
Right,
matter,
right.
and to set up a rule that anything that goes into that email is automatically pushed into this email. If you know
I
the
That
was
could
about
work.
to say that. Yep,
yeah,
you
That
thank
could
you.
can
work.
either do that. Yeah.
I think that would be much easier. Otherwise, and you just tell your vendors, mate, if you email it to me, I ain't gonna get paid. Ciao.
Okay,
So,
okay.
I think that's probably the easier route, but that's internal for us. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. All right.
That's end of my questions.
Okay, all right. Anyone else? Any other questions? Nope. All good?
All good.
Okay, all right. Well, in that case, everyone, thank you very much for joining our webinar today. It was a pleasure. So, we'll make sure to provide you the recording of this webinar so you can then go ahead and watch it again. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me, reach out to our onboarding team, support team. We're here to help you. We have your backs. And then, yeah, we'll see you on the next webinar. Take care,
Thank
guys.
you. Good weekend, all. Thank you.
Good
Thank
weekend,
you.
everybody. Bye.
Thank you, Narek. Bye.